All right. What's happening, folks? Just looking for some music to play. Let's see. There we go. We'll get to that in just a moment. Do, 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 do. Right. What's that doing there? All right. Looks like all systems are go. That's good. Sometimes I forget something, but I think tonight's so far so good. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. Okay, we got a few people that have joined us so far. We got Johnny A, Vitor, Holly, Mary. Hello, hello. Hello, one and all. I know AC is doing his thing right now, so to have people coming in a little bit later. At least I hope so. But people are starting to stroll in now. That's a good thing. And, we're going to make it do what it do. In a few minutes, I'll play a nice old rock song because I'm a big fan of 70s rock. Mary Perry, Sear. Did I get Mary Caesar before? Hmm. Oh man, today is Friday, December 19th, 2025. Just a few days away from Christmas, which I don't care at all about. I don't care about Christmas. I really don't. I think it's great for children, I suppose. Although I think the main thing that Christmas teaches children, especially probably in the last 50 plus years, is just all about consumerism, you know? Like, even though my mother was Catholic and she took me to church as a child, there was nothing during Christmas where, like, the meaning of Christmas was discussed. It was all just about getting presents. Now, of course, the meaning of Christmas would have been wasted on me anyway because I was an atheist by the time I was 10 years old. But, I mean, there was never even an attempt to make it about something, special. Peaceful Grace. Hello from Delaware. All right. Isn't that Biden's town? Oh no, was he Pennsylvania or was he from Delaware? Oh, it was Delaware. Okay. I kind of remember his mythology. Stephanie had like, even though he had a long and at this point storied career in politics, his life was definitely like lots of like horrible shit, right? Peaceful Grace, thank you for the heart me. Appreciate that. Yeah, so I don't know, I might get started now. Sometimes I wait till there's about 10 or 20 people in here, but I think now's a good time to get started. As you notice, it's diner night, and for those that are not aware, that means no politics today. We're just going to talk about whatever. I have some ideas for topics, but you know, we might get to them, we might not. But anyway, let's get on to a little, I think, 70s rock music. Pretty sure this is from the 70s. It's a funny song too, in a way, because it's very testosterone driven kind of song. It starts off as a very gentle love song, but when we get to the chorus, it turns very quickly. You'll know what I mean. Here we go. Bad Company, Feel Like Making Love.
Baby, when I think about you, I think about love. Darling, I don't live without you and your love. If I had those golden dreams of my yesterday, I would wrap you in the heaven, but really dying on the way. Feel like making love. Feel like making love. Feel like making love. Feel like making love. Feel like making love to you. Baby, if I think about you, I think about love. Darling, if I live without you, I live without love. And if I had the sun and moon, and they were shining, I would give you both night and day love satisfying. Feel like making. Feel like making love. Feel like making love. Feel like making love. Feel like making love to you.
right, there we go. From 1975, 50 years ago, and it's still a good song, in my opinion. We got some weirdos in here. Groovy Lights says, still living HIMBKY. I don't know what the fuck that means. Still living him BKY. I don't know what. And I offered you a chance out and spelled chance wrong. That's kind of interesting. That whatever the fuck that means. Hey, Demand, what's up? Good to see you. Elijah's Nana says it's not about them. It's about him. Stalker song? I don't know if I would go so far as to say it's a stalker song. And Anthony Walker, for no reason, just comes in and says dump 2028. Fucking bizarre people, man. Anyway, if anybody wants to come up, Demand or anybody else, feel free. It's diner night, so no politics tonight. We're just going to talk about whatever else we feel like talking about. Son of a bitch. Anthony Walker says, I knew that would get you. Get me how? You knew that would get me to notice how fucking dumb you are? I knew that would get you. Duh. Why are MAGA hats so fucking dumb? I just can't figure it out. I mean, Dump acknowledge that. Dump acknowledge that they're uneducated, and they can't help themselves but prove it. Demond is drying off his dog. Well, you gotta have priorities, man. That makes sense to me. Live visibility restricted for 10 minutes. Oh, somebody got their feelings hurt. Oh, somebody got their feelings hurt. And I know who it is. So they're gone. God, these people. Hey, Danny's in the house. All right. Danny's going to come in and do his Tapper in Chief thing, as he always does. Thank you for the heart me. And he's sent to Go Popular, and he's going to share the live. So I'll share with you all how to be like Danny. All right. So first of all, you want to go up here to the heart me. There should be an orange heart, or there's usually an orange heart next to my name if you're following me already. If you're not, that's okay. It's an easy fix, right? You've got two options. You can either click follow next to my name, and then the orange heart me will appear, or you can go to the bottom row where the gift box is and just click on the gift box. Now, all of the gifts are going to pop up, and there's a lot of hearts in there, so don't just click on any heart. You want to send an orange heart me, the one that's called heart me, all right? Then after you do that, come back and you want to share out the live, and you do that by gently pressing your finger on the screen, either on my nose or my giant forehead, and then your friends list is going to pop up. Now that includes any lists that you belong to or lists that you've made in the chat app, in the the messaging app. So which is cool because you can put up to 30 people in that list. And if you click send to that, even though it counts as only one send, you're sending to 30 people. But if you don't have either of those, you still get a bunch of friends, and you can go, I think, 40 or 50 times where you just press send next to each one of those names, and that invites more people to the fun. All right. And then when you're done doing that, just come back and tap the screen like a wild person. And with that, I'm going to invite Danny up. And hopefully we'll start having a little fun up here. What's up, Danny?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Were you over at AC's live?
Yeah, I got him up to 100K, and I said, "Well, I think I've done my job.
There
I'm
you
moving
go.
on." So there's plenty of mods in his live right now, so he doesn't need me so
Yeah,
anymore.
I haven't started using mods yet. My audiences, they don't seem big enough for me to have mods, but who knows? I could be wrong about that. But whatever. So, fun Trivial Pursuit game.
Actually, I like that new card. What's nice is the questions on top, and then right below is the answers. I don't have to flip card, so
Right.
I like the layout. You
That's
know,
good.
so
And
I'm
I like, I mean, even though I still think they got a couple of questions wrong. For the most part, I like the fact that it was questions from around the world. It spanned a lot of time, but it also seemed very current, you know.
yeah, it's current, and but there's different categories. This one here I opened up was general knowledge. The net there's also science, geography, a couple other boxes of cards in there, so it's going to get harder or different anyway.
Yeah, I'm usually real shit with geography.
And
Um,
there's science in there too, which is
yeah,
I
science is
thought
like
was
hit or
interesting.
miss with me.
Yeah, but anyway, I thought it was kind of nice. We went half through the general knowledge questions,
Yeah,
so
cool.
we
Yeah, it
went
looked
through
like
quite a few
I think
questions.
you probably asked. I mean, on average, it looks like you probably asked like 150 to 200 questions
Pretty close.
per game.
Yeah, pretty
So,
close. Yeah. So and
because I know, I mean,
there's a total.
it had to be like I think it had to be at least 200 because I had 100 myself, and then other people had like 60, and then 50 something or
Right.
whatever, or 30 something,
Right.
whatever. So it
Yeah.
had to be about 200 questions.
Yeah. At least 150, 200 questions.
Yeah,
So, but I like it. I like the company. They make another one says it's a game like that called Bad Judgment.
bad judgment.
It's
Yeah,
questions, yeah, Bad Judgment. So I'm thinking about it's $20 with low tax. I think I'm going to get it. 'Cause I'm curious to see what the questions are.
it's
You
an
know, I think it
interesting
might be
title.
fun.
Yeah.
It might be fun.
Yeah, I honestly like I have fun no matter what the questions are. I have fun whether I know nothing, whether I know most of it, or somewhere in between. Like it doesn't matter to me. You know, I feel bad for people that get so stressed out that it's only about winning and shit. Like, like when Jessica ran through Harry Potter and I think I got less than 10 and she got like 130 something. I wasn't angry at that. I wasn't upset at that.
No,
It's just like, all right, so what's the problem?
no, that wasn't a competition when she was there. That was a slaughter.
Yeah,
She just she
she's a
just
Harry
wiped us
Potter
out.
expert and that's wonderful. But
Yep.
like the fact that people will like whether it's like just any given night that people get upset. Like I don't know, man. I think that's like some therapy shit.
Yeah.
That you're gonna get upset at a fucking trivia game on TikTok, man. I think that's an indication that something is off.
Yes, big time, big time. Anyway, it was fun, and I think it'll be fun next Friday also because I still got another half of those general knowledge questions we didn't even touch. So,
Nice.
so
Oh, pardon me. God damn it. Hey, Demand, what's happening?
Hey Yoda. Hey Danny.
hey, Damon, how are you, my friend?
How's it going? Sound like y'all had fun on Trivia Pursuit.
Oh,
Lots of
we
fun.
did.
Lots of fun.
You missed it. You missed it.
I tried to, you know what? I did pop in and I thought I was at work. I work Fridays. I don't get off until like 7 Central. So I'm in Texas. So 7:30 ish, something like that. And there was just so many fires at work. I couldn't I popped in 2 times and I was trying to listen for questions and I couldn't stay on. I was like, man, I gotta go.
You probably missed somebody deciding to take us into the bathroom with her, which was very bizarre.
Yeah,
Whoa.
she took her phone in the bathroom, and then we heard her flush the toilet and everything, and it was funny. It was funny though. We
What
gotta
kind
admit.
of what kind of lives are you doing, Danny?
Hey,
Listen,
it's
man,
after
they're open
dark.
to
I
everybody,
don't
and you know, some of you white, some of these white tea people are fucking weird, man. Uh,
Hey, no, but not all of them can be like me. Okay, I
I
mean,
know,
let's face it.
no one can be like you, frankly, but damn, man. I mean, I thought it was funny, but I also thought it was really weird. Like, really, you're telling us about you going to the bath? Like, all you had to do is put your mute button on. You would have been fine. Like, you know, miss a couple of questions. It's okay. Like, what are you doing?
Hey, she was in the games. I mean, she really was into the
Yeah,
game.
maybe too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could miss 1 or 2
Yeah.
questions and you'll be fine, you
I mean, you know, I do sometimes. Like, you know, you just like is it really that important?
know.
I don't get it. You know, I know
But
it's
I
fun, but
guess
it's not important. You know what I mean? Like, let's face it. Like, nothing. I would say 99% of what I talk about on my live shows are probably meaningless. You know, I just can't take myself that seriously, and I certainly can't take a game seriously.
the
Hey,
question is, did she get the answer correct? Was
I don't. Who
it's,
she
knows?
I don't know.
We certainly were
Hey,
distracted and didn't feel like asking about that.
I
Wild
took it
shit.
as a compliment, kinda.
I mean, you know, having a stalker is kind of a compliment too, but you know,
That's true. That's true. I've never had one of those, so I couldn't tell you.
I had one once. An ex girlfriend. I mean, she was a harmless stalker. She would just call and hang up, you know, that kind of shit. But whatever.
I I've had one
Mm.
one in particular, and I'm afraid to even say her name now.
Well, definitely don't. But I
Don't-
mean, but like, what? So between calling and hanging up, which I think is the mildest form of stalking, and boiling your bunnies, where did she range?
so if we doing a 1 to 10, I would give her a seven,
Really,
7.5.
really? Okay.
And 7.5 is an activities like busting windows.
No,
Um,
that's more like a
wait.
9, bro.
Well,
When you get
nine
to
is just
breaking
literally
windows, you're at a 9. Come on. Damage of property, that's a 9 in my book.
okay,
Holy
okay,
shit.
yeah,
So
yeah.
No,
she
that's
fucking
a
broke your
38 times.
windows?
And this is before video cameras, right? So you don't know what's going on out there. And I just get a call from my neighbor, and he's like, "Hey, man, there's a little bitty," because she was like 5'1"
Mm-hmm.
and maybe 110, and something like that. But she was a ball of fire.
Well, you know, but that also
What
means
is
you were obviously laying down some pipe, man, because you know that's how that's how they
what's
get
that
that
verse?
crazy.
How's that verse go? Hell have no fear like a woman scorn, or
Yeah,
that's true.
that's I think that's Shakespeare from Taming of the Shrew. I think.
Think so. Think so. Um, yeah. And that was it got worse. Not property, but she would be waiting outside the job.
Oh
She would
Jesus.
be, yeah, yeah, yeah. Those were the days, right?
So what finally ended it?
I moved.
Oh really?
Yeah, I moved. I'm in Texas. I was
Oh
born in
shit!
Louisiana. I'm in Texas now.
It's not Shakespeare. I was wrong about that. So it was originating from William Congreve's 1697 play, The Mourning Bride, and mourning is Mourning. And the original line apparently is, "Heaven has no rage like love to hatred turned, nor hell a fury like a woman scorned." All right.
Oh
I've been
wow.
I've been mislabeling that for a while now, so I'm glad I got the real attribution.
I did
Interesting.
not know where it came from.
Yeah.
I picked it up out of I guess people citing it and
Yeah,
then
people would
movies.
just say that. Yeah. Interesting. But true
You
though.
never
True
you
though.
never had a seven, huh? A seven. And I'm not talking about a good seven. 7.5.
Yeah. I mean, I still say it's a 9 on the psycho scale, because like, once you, to
No,
me, like, destroying property, because then what's next is basically trying to murder you.
no, that wasn't a 9. When they start doing that type of stuff, that's 38 time.
Uh,
Oh
That
wow. Oh wow.
when they start busting up my cars or windows or anything like that, I'm gonna fire a warning shot.
Oh, I don't know if you remember this right. So this was right before cell phones was really getting popular. No, this was more like the pager era. So you could pay the operator and the operator, or you could pay the company and the company would butt into your call on the phone.
Right, right.
So you could be talking to Yoda and y'all could be talking about whatever.
to
And then all
seem
of a sudden the
basically to
operator would
seem
come in
important, right?
to seem like, hey, you are ignoring my calls, answer my calls. That's what,
Yeah,
and they would do it. I mean, I don't know what the charge was, but she did that multiple, multiple,
yeah.
multiple times.
That was back in the 90s.
Yes. Yes.
Yep, I
Wait,
remember
now,
that.
wait, you said that was connected to pagers?
No, it
No,
was the era of
the
Oh,
pagers.
era of
okay, that's what
pagers.
threw me off. Okay. So yeah, so
Yeah,
what you're talking about, right? People could call the operator and ask them to interrupt a call. Right, right, right.
correct.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That was just around the time caller ID was coming out and all that stuff. Not everybody had them, on their phones, so, home phones.
Yes. Yes.
You can still get
Exactly.
around caller ID though.
Oh yeah, I blocked a lot of calls on caller ID. So
Well, I
I think it
mean,
was like
if you
you could
want to
hide your
hide
number,
if you
right?
want to hide your number, there's a way to do it before you make a phone call.
right,
So do
you
you
Wasn't
can
the
do it
one
on
know?
like
cell
star
phones
six or
too.
seven,
That's correct.
something like
Star
that?
67. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, you can do it on cell phones too.
Well, on cell phones you can set it to not show
Right,
your ID,
right,
but
right,
if you just want to make a phone call without changing settings, star 67, then you dial the number and your ID doesn't come up.
right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. It's been several years since I've had a landline, so I have no
No,
idea
this is
anymore.
even on cell phones you can do it.
Oh, really? Sure, I don't give a crap if I call somebody on a cell phone. I want them to know who in the hell is calling.
Yeah. Well, there's been a couple times on TikTok where someone threatened me, but foolishly, made it easy to find their information. And I contemplated calling them, but I never did. But you know, I had to remind myself like how to do it anonymously and all that shit, because I was gonna wait like
Right,
a month or two and then
right.
and then call their office and just freak them the fuck out. But I opted not to.
you know you right at the beginning after you said that I don't know if did you say somebody reported the live or something
Earlier,
that
yeah,
you
yeah, and I
earlier.
know who it was. A guy that I was making fun of reported the live, because these MAGA hats are fucking snowflakes.
This is something I've never done, Yoda and Danny. I've never been on a Friday on my day off or whatever, or gotten off work and sat around and said, "Hey, you know what I want to do? I want to go on people live and report them. Just
Well,
don't watch the
I don't
live."
know. I can't say that that's what he did, but I can say that, you know, he obviously responded badly to my taunting him for the dumb shit that he was saying, because that's what MAGA hats do. They're children. So they don't skip an opportunity to act like children.
Well, he comes in and says 2028.
Yeah, out
And,
of nowhere.
who cares? Who cares?
Like why
Get out of here.
if you come into a live and you don't see anything political and you see a sign like Diner Night, why would you write dump 2028? It's just fucking
I
dumb,
know.
you
That was
know?
stupid.
So I called him out and his snowflake feelings got hurt. So he reported the live. Whatever, you know. I have the same conversations whether I have 1,000 people here or 7 people here. It doesn't matter to me. Like sometimes you have a lot of people, sometimes you have a few people. So what? You just, I'm just here to do what I do. And part of what I do is make fun of MAGA hats.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me. Okay, so just to let you guys know, I had a very, very delicious, what I call, because I've never been to Philadelphia, a very delicious Philly cheesesteak sandwich
Blech.
today.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Really?
you don't eat meat, do it? Is that
Even
right?
when I ate meat, that shit was disgusting to me.
Really,
Yeah.
really.
Ugh.
How long has it been since you've eaten meat?
38 years.
Oh, okay, okay. You're
Yeah.
not a fly by nighter vegan person.
No, he's
I don't
hardcore.
know
He's
what's fly
hardcore.
by nighter. I don't know what that is.
Everybody, for a while that vegan was just super hot. People wearing vegan t-shirts and vegan
I mean, I'm close to
clothing.
being vegan, but I don't, you know, I get annoyed by militant vegetarians and militant vegans. They're fucking useless. It's like I don't care what anybody else eats. I'm eating to feed my
Mhm.
body. I don't care what the fuck you eat. You want to eat rocks? Eat rocks. I don't give a shit. It's none of my
I,
business, you
I know
know?
you've said this before, but what started it again? What
Basically, it was health reasons. I was having stomach aches every day. I suspect that had to do with my first marriage, because she just made me miserable, and I was literally living on Pepto Bismol. Like literally every day, I had a big bottle of Pepto Bismol, and just every hour or so, just taking another sip from it because my stomach was always roiling. I don't remember why I thought vegetarianism was the answer, but that's what I came up with. I was like, oh, I think I should be a vegetarian. And it made a
mm,
difference. I definitely believe that when I went for my brain surgery, I was 25 years into being a vegetarian. And I believe, without any way to prove it, this is just something I suspect, that the reason I walked out of the hospital after, 5 days after two back to back surgeries. So I went into the hospital on Monday. Tuesday, they did a surgery to cut off the blood flow to the tumor. And then Wednesday, they cracked open my skull and scooped it out. And I walked out of there on Sunday. And I think the main reason for that was having been a vegetarian for 25 years. And, because most vegetarians don't, their inflammation is lower and they tend to avoid most health risks that, the average American gets. Now, interestingly enough, years later in 2017, I had to have a stent put into my heart. And I remember the nurse was surprised looking at my chart. She was like, how does a vegetarian have his heart clogged. I was like, just lucky, I guess. You know, because it is unusual. It is unusual for that kind of heart ailment. But at the same time, the men in my family are not built for longevity. For whatever reason, we just tend to drop off the face of the earth pretty young. You know, my father didn't make it past 55.
Oh man. Oh yeah. That
Yeah.
is um I thought about um maybe not full vegetarian, but definitely, moderating the meat. As I say, I ate a Philly cheesesteak today, right? But yeah, it's something I'm thinking about in my 50s.
Yeah. Danny, who are you saying to request up?
Indy nurse down there, a friend of mine in
Oh,
the
okay.
chat.
Yeah, sure. Of course. Yeah, Indie Nurse.
Yeah,
Any friend of
real
Danny's,
nice lady. Yeah,
any
real
friend of
nice
Danny's is
lady.
welcome. Feel free to request up anytime you want. There she is, right on cue. Perfect.
Indy
Hello,
is
Indie
a
Nurse.
nurse.
How you doing?
Hey, Danny,
Hi,
don't
Colonel
say,
Indy.
hey, I'm Colonel. And then the beginning of the year, I turned to Journal or General. Is
That's
that
right,
right?
full bird,
Okay,
full
great.
bird.
That's what I
First
thought.
year. Yeah, yeah. I'm promoting her first of the year. Yeah,
That's right.
Excellent.
so,
So,
But don't spread
anyway,
rumors that I'm nice.
is it Indie Nurse
yeah,
because
very nice.
you're independent or you're from Indiana?
I'm from Indiana.
There you go. All right.
hmm
Hey, listen, the Jackson 5 came from there too, so why not?
Yes, they came from mm, two or three
Gary,
Was it
hours away.
Gary,
Yeah,
was it
Indiana, right?
Gary?
yeah,
Gary?
they
Yeah.
came from Gary, Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just saying, I
So,
was one of my morning shows. I was playing. I think it was a morning show. I don't know. I was playing Jackson Five's song "Heartbreak
hmm
Hotel,"
hmm
and I said, one thing is I believe that Tito never got enough credit for being a good guitarist.
Right.
You know,
They
like
were
I
they
don't
were
think he was a
good.
great guitarist, but like Heartbreak Hotel is a great example. Like this guy was really funky, and he
hmm
really was. He was always in the groove nicely, and he didn't do like extended solos or even real pyrotechnic solos, but he did solos that had feel to them. You know.
hmm
But anyway,
Yeah.
that's my own thing.
So you're a vegetarian. I was listening.
Yeah, it's probably the least
Mm.
interesting thing about me. I think the fact that I'm a fat vegetarian is more interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because sometimes people have asked me like, "How do you become a fat vegetarian?" And I said one word: dedication.
Oh goodness. My
yeah,
my daddy passed at 90 years old and ate everything in the world. They
Wow.
told him to he had let me see he'd had at 83 he had a bypass heart bypass and they told him you need to quit drinking coffee and he said, "You know what? I've lived this long. Mm-mm. Nope." And he passed at 90.
Yeah, I mean,
But
at
to
some
each his
point,
own, you know.
yeah, at some point, you know, everything is weighing the cost benefit of something, right?
Mhm.
Like Billy Joel says, you pay for your satisfaction somewhere along the line. So whatever
Right.
choice you make, every choice comes with a price. Even a choice to be healthy comes with a price.
Absolutely.
I mean, part of why I'm heavy, quite honestly, is because I'm on a medication that added 50 pounds to me, so it's not just all me. But I've been
I
kind of
believe
big
that.
most of my life, and after I had my brain surgery in 2012, I got on this medication that is notorious for putting weight on people. Like there are forums out there where people discuss this. Like they're just like, yeah, no matter what I do, I can't lose this weight. And I was doing okay until about 2015, because I was working out regularly and all that stuff, and I was doing good at keeping the weight down. I was like 225, And then I got a job at a desk because I became an executive for some company. And I, for the first time in decades, I was sitting down to work. Normally I was out in the field, right? And so once I got a job sitting down, I literally put 50 pounds on, and I was still working out, but because I wasn't, active all day long like I had been before, the weight just piled on me. Yeah, I
Right.
made it up. The heaviest I ever got was 278, and that sucked. Now I'm 250, 255, but no matter what I do, even when I fast, like I fasted for 30 days just a few years ago, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And it was great. I really loved it. But I lost almost no weight. I think I lost like 10 or 12 pounds. And there are people that fast for 10 days and they'll lose like 20, 30, 40 pounds, right? When I fast for 10 days, I'm lucky if I lose 5 pounds. So I don't do it for weight loss. I do it for other reasons, but
Right.
it's just funny how like my this fucking medication just wants me to be fat for whatever reason.
Genetics plays a big role.
Yeah,
Also.
and I come from a fat family, and actually in my family I'm the skinny one. My sister passed away when she was 60, and that was like 9 years ago, and she was enormous. She was probably twice my size.
Oh my.
Yeah. My brother's a big fat fuck too. And unfortunately he looks like shit. Like I still look decent, but he looks like shit. He's 5 years older than me also, but he just looks like absolute dog shit. Oh
How
well.
tall are you, Yoda?
5'11".
I don't know why I thought you were like 6'5".
I come off as 6'5". I don't know why.
Where did I get that from?
I don't know. It's probably my oversized personality.
Yeah, the big head.
Yeah.
The big head.
It's the giant head.
Wow.
That definitely
Yeah.
has something to do with it. Me and my 3 chins over here that I'm hiding with my
Oh.
beard. That's the beauty
How
of the
old are
beard
you?
too. I grew it out of sheer laziness because when I stopped working last October of last year, I was just like, hey, why the fuck am I shaving? I just decided to grow it, and it's good because it hides my triple chin, so it's good.
Maybe that's what I should do.
Yeah. You either have to grow a beard or start taking photos where you hold the phone up here.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of chicks on dating apps do. And
Okay.
I always want to write to them, you're not fooling anybody.
Right.
We know you're fat. It's okay. Some of us like fat women. I'm one of them, so it's okay. I dated 2 women that were bigger than me. And I loved it. Loved every second of it.
And again, it's to each their own. It's a lot of times it's the personality and the heart
Of course.
that count.
Yeah,
Yep.
my standards for women are not about their physicality. It's like I know what I like when I see it, right? So if you're fat but you're shapely, I still find that attractive. If you have a cute face, I still find that attractive. So, when we get naked, we look like 2 seals going at it. I don't care. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me.
Oh boy.
Goodness.
It's like that old joke. The best thing about banging a fat woman is when you're done and you rolled over, you're still on top of her.
Oh, goodness sakes. Oh.
But yeah, I've had, and what's really interesting is I've had some really, really good schmecks with fat women. There's been a couple thin women that were fantastic too, but I was very pleased by the fat chicks.
More ounce to bounce.
I guess. More cushion for the push and all that shit. Yeah, it's all true. It's all true.
Oh,
And I
gosh.
think it's
You'd
also
be nervous.
it's a
I mean,
tactile
you-
thing also because like and I don't have a type, so like thin to fat, it doesn't matter to me. But there are tactile differences between thin women and fat women, and there's
Mm-hmm.
plus and minus on both sides, right? Like I will say this: kissing a fat woman's neck is not that pleasant. Okay, kissing a thin woman's neck feels a lot better, but everything else on a fat woman feels better to me. You know?
So, Danny, did you? Did I shock you? I've been hanging out with a lot of vets today, so you know, and I hung out with one for 27 years. Don't forget that.
Ah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You did.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
now,
You
Demond, were
did.
you ever in the service?
I was unfortunately not. I was supposed to go in and decided to go to college. I had a couple buddies went to the service, and we were kind of deciding over summer because we didn't want to get in a bunch of trouble. And half went to the services, and then the other half went into college.
Gotcha. Yep, I never did. I that was just a conscious choice on my part that I wasn't gonna serve a country that hated me.
I got really close to going into the Navy. That's where I was. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The Air Force.
Yeah, the
Or
Air
the Air
Force is the way to
Force.
go.
That's a
That's
hard gig,
right.
though. It's a real hard gig.
My
Like
husband was in there.
flying those combat planes is insanity. Like you have to be a physical specimen. Like there's no, I don't think there's anything else that requires the kind of physical acuity that's necessary for flying planes. I don't think there's any athletic thing that you could do. I don't think that there's any job that you could do that requires the same things. I mean, you have to have the eagle eyes, right? You have to be able to have perfect vision, right? You have to have the reaction time of a mongoose. You have to have the strength of an elephant. You know, it's crazy. You know, and on top of all that, you have to be able to keep calm while there's bullets and bombs coming at you. You know, like from the ground, they've got these missiles that they're firing at you. They've got, you know, if you're low enough, they're peppering you with machine gun fire, and you know, if you encounter another
Artillery.
plane, they're trying to blow you out of the
Mhm.
air. It's crazy.
But
Well,
there's other jobs in the
that's
Air
what I was.
Force.
No, I
That's what I was going to
realize that,
say.
you know.
Hmm.
I wasn't that smart. I was like,
Yeah.
I,
Oh,
I was gonna. I scored. I forget exactly what I scored on the ASVAB because during that time it was the ACT in Louisiana. It was the ACT, and it depended on if you score real good on the ACT, then you didn't have to take the SAT, and then you just take the ASVAB or that entrance, that evaluation thing, and then they tell you what your jobs could be and stuff like that. And then I was going in for information technology, but one of my buddies had me go with him down to Southern Baton Rouge in Louisiana. Or Baton Rouge is a college called Southern HBCU in Louisiana, and fell in love with that and just went there.
They probably would have had
yeah.
me checking
Only,
for landmines or some dumb shit like that.
My
I'd
husband
only.
be
was a
I'd be
crew chief.
tiptoeing with my fingers in my ears.
My husband was a crew chief. He loaded weapons.
Oof.
That's all. That's what
Wow.
I will say on
Yeah.
F4s and F-16s.
Gotcha.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh
Hmm.
wow!
Only 10% of the people that goes in are pilots in the Air
Pilots.
Force. The rest of them are support,
Sure.
which
Right.
is the most important part of the Air Force. Because without the people on the ground, those boys in the air ain't going nowhere.
Even supply.
Yep,
Gotta
everybody on
have
the ground.
supply.
Yep, everybody on the ground.
Yeah, everything counts.
90%
It's all
that supports the
synergistic.
pilot.
You know, it's
Yep,
like a car, right? A car is greater than a sum of its parts. So
Hmm.
you
right.
have to have all the parts to make it work. And if you're missing a bolt, the car won't run. You know, or it'll run
That's right.
badly. And so, yeah, all
Or you're missing the
team endeavors
tires.
are the same.
Yep.
And just like doctors need us nurses.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
yeah.
because I
In
mean,
absolutely.
some
ha-
cases, I think in almost all cases, you're probably going to get better care from nurses than you will from doctors.
oh, no doubt,
Yeah,
You
no
will.
doubt. They
That's why
spend
they're
5 minutes,
my
and we spend 12 hours plus.
yeah.
Yeah,
angel. Nurses are angels. That's why I call them, right, Indy? Angels.
yep. That's yep. I'm
Yep.
I'm his angel. He tells me
Yep.
that all the time.
Yep. You're my angel.
One of my favorite pastimes. My daughter's a nurse in San Antonio, and
Awesome.
is to hear her because she works in the ER.
Oh boy.
Some of those stories that they
Mm.
go through, that you guys go through in the
Hmm.
ER. Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen some of them. I used to sell scales for hospitals and nursing homes.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Um, the bed scales where you have
Yeah.
the crane that you hook up to the
The
you
Hoyer
know
lift.
say again.
Was it a Hoyer lift?
It wasn't Hoyer. Hoyer was the competition, but it was the same type of
Okay. Okay.
same
Same
type
thing.
of
Okay.
thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was Scaletronics was the name of the
Okay.
company,
Okay.
and
I've heard of them.
wheelchair scales, NICU scales, all that shit, right? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so I had to go to every department of the hospital to calibrate the scales and maintain them and all
Mm-hmm.
that shit, and talk
Mm-hmm.
to the nurses about how to train them on using them and all that other shit. And so obviously I was in the ER pretty much every day, and sometimes some shit would come in while I was there, and it was pretty fucking
Mm.
awful.
Oh yes. Yeah. I remember my first ER experience was going up at a trauma level 1 hospital, going up to meet the life flight didn't turn out well.
Yeah.
It was my first ER experience.
User 5796, for some reason you're not loading in, so I'm gonna drop you down. You just try again to come up.
I've been a nurse for 31 years.
Oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
you do have stories.
Oh yeah,
I think if you're a nurse for a week, you're gonna have stories.
yeah. A day sometimes.
Yeah. Any given day, man, a hospital is a very interesting place. You have the gamut of people seeing their first day and people seeing their last day.
Mm-hmm. I for the last 9 years, I'm a clinical director for home care, and there's some other stories.
At home care.
Yeah.
Now, the stories depicted in adult films of nurses doing all sorts of funky shit to people, are any of those true?
No, absolutely none of them.
Oh, that's
You know, I
unfortunate.
it is what oh gosh, what you see on TV just irritates the hell out of me. It's
Yeah,
like, no, I don't even go to the bathroom in 12 hours. What are you talking about being in a room with a doctor for, an hour or whatever?
right.
No, mm-mm,
I feel the
no.
same way when I see martial arts on television, because
Mm-hmm,
I've been involved in martial arts for most of my life, and so much of what I see is just horse shit.
mm-hmm,
It's just so
yeah,
ridiculous. It's like things that real fighters would never do in a million years.
mm-hmm,
And what really bugs me is how often the person that doesn't know martial arts beats up the guy that does know martial arts. Because that's just absurd. It's
right.
just absolutely absurd. You know, like, is it impossible? Of course not. Anybody can lose on any given day. But the way
Mm-hmm.
the way they depict it is always so dumb to me.
But I'm 71 and still working and happy.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. No major health issues, nothing like that.
How is Indiana? What you said Indy, right? In Indiana?
Yes.
Where is that close to Chicago? That's close to Chicago, right?
About 3 hours south of Chicago.
Go south.
Hmm.
Was that
Yeah,
cold and rainy up
Indianapolis
there?
isn't too much.
It, it's cold, and yes, it rained all day yesterday, and we got a dusting of snow last night, but it's already melted. So yeah,
Well, it ain't January yet. It's gonna snow. You guys are gonna get it again, big time. Of course, all of
yeah,
us.
All right, so
it,
let,
yeah.
let's move off of weather because that bores the shit out of me. Weather happens. Let's move on.
There's weather.
Yeah, but anyway. So Danny, when you watch either a film or a TV show, and they are just blatantly getting it wrong about like the military, like what are typically the things that they get wrong?
What drives me nuts on most, especially Army movies that I watch, like Saving Private Ryan
Hmm.
and some of the other ones, We Were Soldiers and all that stuff. Uh, One of the things is that bugs the crap out of me is the uniforms are messed up.
Ah,
Being a drill sergeant, I was very meticulous about training my soldiers how to, the uniform and how the ribbons go if they're they've been in for a while, which one goes before the other, and where you place your badges on your uniform and stuff. And I used to just drive me nuts. Whoever the military advisor is on some of these movies, uh, didn't know crap about the army
right.
or the military. Air Force was another one that kind of bugged the heck out of me, especially in a World War II movie. Where it was the Army Air Corps, it wasn't the Air Force yet, and the uniforms were different then. But they'll sit there and they'll have a guy in brown uniform, which was the traditional uniform back then. But all of a sudden, you see someone in the background with a blue uniform on, a more current uniform. Uh, so just stuff like that in the
Right.
most part. And then in Saving Private Ryan, they had the correct weapons when they were coming on the beach. But if you look in the background and the back of the other people coming off the loading crafts off and onto the beach, there were M16 back there, which weren't around and at the landing on D-Day. Plus, they didn't have plastic over their weapons, like you would have on a clothing rod when you purchase a new uh, rod for curtains. There was no plastic like that on weapons. They wouldn't be carrying plastic. Their weapons in plastic like that.
Mm.
That just didn't happen. Back then there
Fuck's
wasn't no
going on?
such thing for that. And see what else bothered the hell out of me most of the time. Uh, that's just some of them.
But I
It's
heard
it's
in general, um, most soldiers have said that Saving Private Ryan was the most realistic
it
film
was.
about. Do you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. That was probably next to the other movie, We Were Soldiers. That was the most realistic, authentic movie of Vietnam that I'd ever seen. You know, that everybody said Platoon was, and some of those, but I
Platoon seemed over the top to me.
it was. So, but I think that We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson and that movie about Colonel uh, Hal Moore was ended up being. I met Hal Moore years ago, and at Fort Knox when I was a drill sergeant. So he was just as real as he was that they depicted in the movie. Of course, he was a two-star general then, but you know what I'm saying. He was
Yeah.
that type of person. Uh, but yeah, I, I would have to say Private Ryan. Other than like I said about the weapons, way back in the camera view of the background that weren't there then, it was
Right.
pretty realistic.
Yeah, because
Very
weren't
authentic.
M16s a Vietnam thing?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, what they had in World War II were M1 carbines,
right.
you know. And in Korea they came out with the M14s, and then M16s came about during the Vietnam era.
Gotcha. And I heard that the M16s were okay until they changed the type of gunpowder that they used, and then they started jamming up.
Actually, it wasn't the gunpowder that made them jam. It was the aluminum bolt, the aluminum bolt that was in the middle of the weapon. Uh, that was having a problem with the combination of the ammo was
Okay,
jamming up the weapon because of the rain and moisture. We got so much rain there
right.
that would jam up.
Yeah, that's
So
why they were
when
picking up
they,
the AKs because those things will fire through anything.
matter of fact, my platoon sergeant over there was a Korean War vet. And he told me the first thing I do is the first gook that I take out is to grab his M14 and put my M16 away in my footlocker
Interesting.
in the hooch. Yep. And I did. I got my AK-47. That's what I carried.
All right, so trivia. What does the AK stand for?
Oh shoot.
Kalashnikov.
No.
It's the gentleman's name, right?
Almost. You're halfway there.
Almost. Yeah.
It
Trying to
stands for
remember.
Automatic Kalishnikova.
Kalishnikova.
Ah,
Right.
yeah.
Automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that and it's funny if you see I saw that firing in slow motion. It almost looks like it's a toy because it's moving all over the place. Like that's
Right.
it's such a loosely constructed weapon and yet it's so powerful and so consistent, never jams. You could drag it through mud, it doesn't matter. And meanwhile, the M16s, if you got too much dust in it, it would fuck it up, you know?
Well, not only that, but the weapon, the stock itself and the butt part of the weapon was all plastic, made by Mattel.
Right,
Mm.
right,
You know,
Right, right,
right. And
where
the
right.
and
where
the
the
AK was a wood
M14 was a
stock.
solid wood stock.
Right,
Yeah, so
right.
M14 was a solid wood stock. The AK was a solid wood stock. I preferred that 10 times over the Mattel product.
Yeah, I can
Mm.
imagine. Oh,
That's-
what a weird situation it is to be, thrown into somebody else's country and told that you're peacekeeping. Meanwhile, you're strapped to the gills with weapons. Like none of it makes sense to me.
Well, you know who figured out the problem with the M16 was the Ithaca Shotgun Company, the one that remade the bolt and the disassembly mechanism to make it work better, so he could
Interesting.
clean it. Yep,
Okay, I
Ithaca
had not heard
Shotgun
that before.
Company.
That's interesting.
Yep, yep,
All right.
yep.
Is that Ithaca, New York?
I don't know if that's Ithaca, New York, but that was the shotgun company. It was called the Ithaca Shotgun.
I mean, it would make sense that it would be in Ithaca, New York, which I've actually
More
been
like it.
to just one time. Don't remember a goddamn thing about it.
It's been. I'm trying to strain my brain for 56 years worth of trying to remember.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it was Ithaca Shotgun Company. Ithaca Shotgun.
So, Top, did you get your pinup calendar yet?
No, I didn't. I
Oh
got to
boy.
do it though. I'm gonna write. You only got 22 left, you said, or 21 or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. We can order more.
So it looks like they're still around.
Yep. So I was correct on the name.
Yes. And I'm gonna see what
Yeah.
their address is. No, they're not in Ithaca at all. They're in Upper Sandusky, Ohio.
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
But Ithaca is also, I think that's a Greek god or something. Isn't Ithaca? Or am I thinking of Icarus?
Icarus.
Hold on. Let's see if it has more than one meaning. Uh, Ithaca. Ithaca is a place. Let's see what else is it. Christmas in New York. What else is it? Anything? Ithaca Odyssey. Hold on, man. Now we're getting close. Oh, okay. In Homer's Odyssey, Ithaca is the kingdom and home of Odysseus. I knew it had some kind of fucking magical bullshit behind it.
Well, we ain't gonna have that on trivia night. That question for at
Yeah.
least a while.
If you ask that question tomorrow, I'll fucking forget the answer.
Well, guys, I'm gonna jump down. I've got Sergeant Bill at 1 o'clock or 1:30.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
But
thank you so
thanks
much
for
for
Tonight
coming
coming
is
up.
on.
our
I've
last
enjoyed it.
Yeah. Come by
Yeah,
anytime.
I'll be popping in. I'll
Okay,
be
doke.
popping in later.
All right, Danny.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Good
All right.
night.
You guys have
Thank
a good
you.
night.
You too, sweetie.
All right. Good stuff.
Yeah, I met her on Sergeant Bill's channel. He also does VAST, Veterans Accountability Support Team. It's one of
Nice.
the groups I belong to called VAST.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate truth that you all have to support each other because America ain't doing it.
Nope.
Yeah,
No, we
that's
don't. Her wife is a 22-er dayer. He took his life. Her Indy's husband did,
Hmm.
and she's part of the 22-er dayer group. Just like my father, he was a 22-er dayer also. So, yep. Nice
that's
cow though.
I mean, all it would take, I remember there's a few psych studies about this, but after Vietnam, one of the big worries was that like all of these soldiers were going to come back addicted to substances because there was so much opium use in Vietnam, and it surprised everybody that like over 90% of the soldiers that came back were fine. They were able to get back to normal life right away. And after studying it very carefully, they found out the one thing that made a difference between a soldier going back to normal life or a soldier staying addicted, and that was a support system. All of the soldiers that came back and had people to take care of them did okay. But if you were isolated or whatever, or just not connected to any kind of family or friends or anything like that, then chances are that you're going to stay that way. So to me, it takes so little to take care of soldiers when they come home. Just make sure that they are connected and they feel appreciated. That would take nothing. And yet America can't even muster that up.
Well, we weren't welcome when we came back from Vietnam.
Right.
We really didn't. It was hard for us to get jobs. Uh, we felt that they felt the American people felt we were damaged goods. Uh, that they a lot of them. That's why they ended up on substances, of all types, and a lot of them became alcoholics. A lot of them, uh, if they got married, they got divorced shortly afterwards. They did. It just wasn't sustainable, and what jobs they did get, they couldn't hold them down. They couldn't hold a job down. And at that time, there was no thing called PTSD. Then they didn't know what it was. They called it battle fatigue
Yeah.
or battle exhaustion. They had all sorts of names for it through the years. And finally, they came up with PTSD, which I thought was an accurate term.
You know what,
Uh,
though? I'll tell
but
you the most accurate term was the first one that came up after World War I, which was shell shock.
shell
No
shock,
one
right?
is confused about what that means, right?
No,
It's
that's
very
true.
clear what you're saying when you're saying someone is shell shocked. And that's the thing I think that would have made the most sense to keep. And it's something that George Carlin talked about. When you add words
Right,
and syllables or syllables, you get further away from the meaning, right? So
right.
when you start off with shell shock, 2 words, 2 syllables, easy to understand, right? Then you get to battle fatigue. but it's even though it's still only 2 words, now it's 4 syllables. And battle fatigue sounds like maybe you're just tired. And now we're up to post traumatic stress disorder.
Right.
So many words, so many syllables, and it's not specific enough. And I think it just softens the reality so people don't really understand what we're talking about. Like, let's get back to fucking shell shock so that people
Right.
people understand, like, yeah, this is some traumatic shit that happens in the military. Especially for people who are in combat. And it doesn't take necessarily harming another human being, but obviously if it comes to that, that's an obvious cause of the stress. But if you're in some foreign country and suddenly a firefight breaks out, that's a very stressful fucking situation. And like it's the kind of thing that really can damage people.
Yep. And then the after effects is so sensitive that you never know any type of noise can set them off.
Yeah.
And that's why at 4th of July, I have right across the road from our park where all of us people live here, where you've been to my place.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of us in this park are veterans, but the people around this park, they fire off firecrackers and don't give a shit whether it bothers us.
Right.
Those explosions,
And what
no
a weird
respect
thing too. Like
whatsoever.
the we're celebrating independence by mimicking warfare. Like that's so fucking weird.
Right. Yep. So that's my only hung up with that, with the force.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that way. When I was a kid, I thought it was great. We're going to fire off some
Oh yeah.
crackers,
When you're a
throw a
kid, you
few
don't know
M&Ms.
anything.
Yeah. But when once you're in the service and you go through what I went through and other people gone through, then you come back and then anything like that just puts you on edge,
Yeah.
you
Car
know, or makes
backfiring,
you
all
have
that shit.
nightmares for a few nights in a row,
Yeah.
bringing back old memories, you know.
Yeah. I mean, well, my issue with Independence Day is that while YT folks were celebrating that, black people were in chains.
Right. Well,
And plus, the Star Spangled Banner is a song about schmurdering slaves.
that's
So,
right. That's
I
right.
have a couple issues.
Yep.
What's up, Brooklyn's Bridge?
Hello, everyone.
What's good in
Hello.
the hood?
Hello.
Hi, Grandpa.
How you doing there, young lady?
Tired, Grandpa. Tired. I
I hear
shouldn't
you.
be. I shouldn't be working at 67, but due to some prior decisions, that's what I have to do. But I
Well, God
came up
bless
here
you.
because you all. Let me remind myself. Wait a minute of the conversation because I was sitting here for a minute. Tell me what you and Grandpa were just talking about. Just remind me.
We were talking a lot of military stuff,
I was talking about fireworks
trauma.
and how
Fireworks,
explosions.
fireworks,
Yeah,
fireworks.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. Okay.
Fireworks. People don't realize, especially lately, that fireworks can cause damage to a roof. The
Mm.
embers, the
Yep.
embers can cause the shingles to turn up.
Yep. Sure can.
That's all. That's it. The people. It's like when we were younger. Yeah, we'd set off a few firecrackers, but nothing to pop like these cannons. You understand?
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
It should be against the law. It
Well,
used to be.
unfortunately.
It used to be. You couldn't do like I in the state that I'm in. I'll never forget it. It must have been 2 or 3 years ago. I was coming home driving at about 7 p.m. or something like that, and on this one main street in my city, there were people outside for like 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks long with canisters, silver canisters, like what you used to buy Crisco oil in,
Hmm.
and they'd set off different things, and you'd be your first time through, you're wondering like what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-mm. I don't like fireworks anymore.
I mean, they don't bother me. But I think about the vets who respond, animals, all that stuff. And it's just to me, it's such a weird thing that it's supposed to be a celebration, yet you're mimicking combat. Why?
Right.
What? I don't know. Can't you say "Happy Birthday, America" without mimicking combat? You know, because it's just so
Have
derivative.
you
Oh, the bombs bursting in it. Yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. That's the lyrics to that goofy song. But I mean, do we have to fucking mimic that?
have you ever seen a block, like an entire residential block, where it was so smoky and there was no fog? It was something like out of a movie. I've seen that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in a situation. Trying to remember how old I was. I think I was like maybe 10 or 11, something like that. We had moved to Long Island when I was 9, and it was probably the following summer because we moved in September, right before school started. And the following summer, at 4th of July, my next door neighbor was setting off fireworks, and they had a box of them, a whole box of fireworks,
Mm-mm.
and a spark got into the box and lit them all
Uh-oh.
off.
At
And so,
once?
yeah, and so I was just standing there as things were whizzing by my head. I just figured I'd stand still because,
Mm,
why, what else would I do? I mean, it probably would have been smarter to hit the ground, but I was kind of just frozen in place, and
right.
literally things were whizzing by me. So it's like it just seems like, and then you hear about the people that blow their fingers off every year, and
Mm-hmm.
or worse.
Mm-hmm.
I think just a few years ago, some kid blew half his head off because because something didn't go off, and like a fucking idiot, he was looking at it, and then it
Mm-hmm.
went off and took half his face with it.
Well, it's happened here too.
Although I think that might be Darwinism at work. You know?
But to see a whole block engage in something like that, back in the day when I was a child, people let off a few sparklers or something like that. But now these people have cannons. It's ridiculous. It's sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a new thing. I saw that shit 50 years ago.
I didn't. I seen a few fireworks here and there. Even my mom allowed us to set off a few, but nothing like I've seen lately in my state.
Yeah, I mean, we had M80s, which is a quarter stick of dynamite.
As a firework?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
No, I never.
They
We
look
had the
like
little
they look
things.
like they're very close in size to shotgun shells.
Oh no.
Yeah, they have a
Yep,
fuse and
I can
everything, and when they
testify
go,
to
they
that.
go.
a lot of close calls when I was growing up. A lot of
I didn't
close.
mess with stuff like that because I didn't want to have to miss a finger or a limb or. So people say, "You want to light it?" No, thank you.
Yeah, I'll
No,
stick
thank
with
you.
like firecrackers and bottle rockets when I was younger. I didn't like, maybe I would do a Roman candle now and again.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
even know what a Roman candle is.
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they weren't that powerful because they didn't most of the time they didn't even blow up. They just launched and were very colorful, and then they fizzled out.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
No,
seen
I
all
can
I
sorts of
tell
shit.
ask,
you.
may I ask Grandpa a question?
Of course.
Sure.
Grandpa, how was your birthday?
It was awesome. Probably, without a doubt, probably the best birthday I've ever had.
Good. Do me a favor. You hear me?
I'm hearing.
Send me your cash app.
It's in his
It's in
bio.
my bio,
Okay.
right underneath my name.
Okay.
Yeah. And
And how
if
old did
you
you
if you want
turn?
to see the live I
75.
had for Danny that
75.
night, if you go to my bio and click on the tube,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see under the live tab of all the thumbnails. If you go back to the 9th, you'll see it says "Happy Birthday, Danny" there. You can't miss it. It was a really good show.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate I missed it. I can't remember. I have so much going on, a new puppy, work, and
yeah. Hey, we all have
but I hate
lives.
I missed your I hate I missed your birthday.
Well, luckily
Well,
you
I
can still see
appreciate
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the appreciation part of it, the birthday party was a hoot too. But yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But we did an appreciation hour afterwards, and yeah, it was a tearjerker. But I really thank everybody for being there. The love that was showed to me for my 75th birthday was more than I could ever ask for.
And I need to say congratulations.
Thank you.
No, I'm
I made
serious.
it.
Because I'm 66, so I understand. You know what I remind people of, and then I'm gonna close with this. There was one year of C-19 where over 1 million people died in America. I mean, I'm sorry, U8, right?
Right.
And we're still here. That makes me think about my purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
listen, nobody's guaranteed tomorrow.
No one.
No. And Father Time's undefeated.
That's right.
Hmm.
There's a great line in Fight Club. Um, I happen to really respect the author Chuck Palahniuk, and he said, "Judged along a long enough timeline, everybody dies in the end." you know, and unfortunately, that's real. That's the persistent rumor is that we're all going to go. So, like I like to remind everybody that of those 2,995 people who perished on 9/11, I guarantee you the vast majority of them left their dwelling that morning and said to someone, "I'll see you later." Right? Later sometimes doesn't come.
Yep. That's
That's
true.
that's why I felt it was important to have people share their thoughts about Danny, because and not the idea that Danny might be the one to go, like any one of us could go.
Any one of
So
us.
while we're here and we have this opportunity to celebrate this amazing human being, let's do it. And it was one of the few good ideas that I've had in my lifetime.
Yeah. Grandpa has always been respectful. Never tone too high. He just as calm as a cucumber.
He's a real man.
I
He's
like
he's
that.
the he's the
It's
last of a breed that
a dying
unfortunately
breed, a
is
UA breed.
disappearing, and
Yeah.
it's the way, like, when I think about how I came up, uh, I won't go into great detail, but basically, I didn't have a father. I knew who he was, and I saw him once in a while, but he was essentially a non-entity in my life. And my brother's 5 years older than me, but it wasn't his responsibility to take care of me,
Right.
And I,
Right.
and I lived with my mother, and unfortunately, the statistics for single mothers raising sons is not good. And what taught me how to be a man was either people in real life like Danny, or people depicted in films and television who were like Danny.
Right.
Like real men who had ethics and dignity and class, and respect, and they had an ethic,
Mm.
and luckily, I was able to cobble together like what it meant to be a man. And so I'm fortunate. I'm also fortunate that my environment was conducive to like teaching boys how to be men. Because, I was raised in a real rough neighborhood, literally the most dangerous neighborhood in Manhattan at the time. And, you have to
Manhood.
learn certain things. And if
You
you're
sure
a
do.
man, you have to learn respect. Like you literally have to, because your life is on the line if you don't. And so and so when I met Danny, I realized like, yeah, this is the model of manhood that I've always gravitated toward. Because to me, there's too many fucking punks out here.
Oh, don't
You
get me
know,
started.
like we see them come into my live all the time, just these frivolous
Yes,
little fucking, you're
fragile.
chronologically 50 or 60 years old, but you're talking like a boy. They make me sick, quite honestly.
Yeah,
Because that's the opposite of how I was raised.
yeah, yeah. It's sad. It's really sad. Fragility is a real thing now. That's a word I'm using
You talk about white
because
tea fragility.
yeah, because when you can't stand the words of a strong person, three, 4 people, no, over 4 people have told me because of certain jobs I've had, like I was a CO once, that when a BLK woman speaks in authority, most people, I don't care who they are, is something about that sets them off.
Well, I mean that's an easy one to figure out why.
Right,
That's just a racist thing.
right. But the main thing is that someone who calls themselves a grown man would feel that way. Because a grown man would say, you know what, she just, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it goes back to what I say all the time, which is you can call yourself anything. That doesn't mean you're that thing.
Exactly.
Like how many people are out here calling themselves Christian and not doing one fucking thing that's
Oh,
Christ-like?
oh, don't
Like
start,
literally
Yoda.
being the opposite of that. And look, me personally, I don't even put any value in someone calling them a Christian. That literally means nothing to me because what you find out when you start reading about sociology and getting into the behavior of societies is that atheists act more Christian than Christians do.
You know what? I had to disassociate myself from religion within the last year. That was my choice. I grew up going to Catholic schools, then I went to a public school, then I went to college at an older age. But one thing about myself is that I don't have to pretend. I don't have to be mad at the world. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's I don't, I don't
Brooklyn, I put it in my put it in the chat there. I sent it to you in the chat there.
okay, thank you.
That's it. That's real easy.
Yeah, it takes easy for me. I really
Yeah,
don't
that's
like using yeah, like my son was saying he was mentioning Venmo and something else. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't like using things. I'm old school.
I had to make it simple so I could remember myself.
Hmm.
You know,
And
so
I had
that's
the
it.
nerve to change mine about a week or so ago, so we'll see how that goes. Ah,
Anyway, that's my cash app right there. So
okay, I screenshot it.
yeah,
Yep, congratulations, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You'll get there. I have total confidence you'll make it.
Thank you.
Well, me, it's
Sometimes it's
50-50, but I will say this. If I make it to 70, I know that there's a good chance that I'm going to be a real problem for people.
uh-oh.
I used to joke around that I wanted to live long enough to become a burden to my son.
Uh-uh. No, you didn't. I prayed that
Well,
I didn't have a girl because my mom said, God rest her soul, I love her. She said one day, I don't know what I did. And she said, I hope you have a daughter just like you.
That's the classic parents' curse, right?
But I ended up having one son, and that was it.
And is he like you?
No, he's different, and he did something that I don't think I could do, which was go to the army. So he's a veteran, has a very good work ethic, no record. I don't have to worry about him in the streets in the middle of the night. I don't have to worry about him harming people. It's a good feeling because I have relatives, if you know what I mean. That when I hear what's going on, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm very proud of my son.
yeah, you're blessed.
Yeah, I am. No,
Now,
once he
just
gets off
for
work,
the there's only 5 in here, so it doesn't matter. But I do have 25 more uh, units of whatever the fuck I have up there in my live goals. If anybody wants to gobble those up, but
how,
I don't
my
know what
son
you
is
got.
how do
actually.
you do it? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
The
that's okay. No worries. But my son is a lot like me, but there are some significant differences, and that's a good thing. I didn't expect him to be like me. He just kind of is like me. His mother hates the fact that he's like me. She used to complain all the time when he was little. She's like, I don't understand it, because he lived with me for a long time, and then when he was like 5 or 6, he went back to her, and she was like, I don't understand. He lives with me. How come he acts like you? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm more interesting.
uh, my son is he's handsome. However, it's strange that when people see me and then they see him, like he came to my job the other day and they were, oh, he looks just like you. But then if you see a picture of his father, you say, oh, wait,
That's the
he
same with
looks,
my son too. When
yeah.
he's standing next to me, people say he looks like me, but he looks exactly like his mother, who
Mhm.
happens to be a beautiful woman. And my son is stunningly gorgeous. But that's definitely from her. He got my personality, but he got her looks, so that worked out well.
Any mother that wouldn't say that, because yeah, I'm very proud of my son. Is there some things we all could do better? Yeah. Like I was just talking to him tonight about college courses. Yeah.
That's a conversation I've never had with my son, and likely will never have.
Why?
I don't think he's interested in college at all,
Does
and
he have another? Does he have a skill?
he's got several, but the main skill he has is developing a harem of women that do everything for him.
Uh oh. I'm gonna leave that alone.
No, there's nothing for you to say about it.
Nothing. I mean, not a darn thing.
It is what it is. You
When
know,
people make choices and they're
hey, it's
adults,
his life. He's 40 fucking
yeah.
years old. I got nothing to say about it.
My son is 47.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. You preaching to the choir.
yeah. My job is done. I kept the motherfucker alive. That's it. I'm done.
Right. Kept him
I got
safe.
a
Yeah.
I got a 51-year-old daughter. I understand totally, and a 45-year-old son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have, of course, stages of what your job is. When they're first born, your job is literally to keep them alive.
And
Once they
healthy.
start getting mobile, whether it's crawling or walking or whatever, they spend most of their time trying to find ways to end their lives. So we have to be the guardrails to make sure that they don't do that. And then after that, it's teaching them how to be adults, you know? And so once he got to adulthood, I was like, All right, I'm out. You know,
And I always taught my son you can't survive relying on other people. You have to make your way. You have to. I told him the moment the light bulb went off for me that you have to make a decision, especially when it comes to school and employment, to let people to sell yourself like a marketing idea, right?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
I'm good at this, and this. I'm on time. I don't miss work.
Yeah. You got to sell yourself
Exactly.
first.
Yeah.
or you got to build something yourself so you don't have to sell yourself to anybody.
Well,
What
not
you?
necessarily sell yourself, but let people know the qualifications that you have.
That's
Like you might have want some people work at Burger King for a minute, and then the next thing you know, they go into acting or they go into something to the point where that's a thing of the past, the way you used to live.
yeah. So how long ago did your son join the army? How long ago was that?
I just asked him, I can't remember the year, so I'll have to give it to you how I remember it.
Okay.
He said he was 21 when he joined, and he's 47 now.
Okay. And he only did the 3 or 4 years is all
I
he
think
did.
he did five or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
And he just turned 47, you said?
He'll be 48 in a few weeks.
48. I would probably bet that he's already kicking himself in the butt for not staying in and making a career out of it.
No, no.
Because of retirement, he would be already drawing a retirement
And
from the army.
Demond is dropping down. Have a good night, Demond.
Oh,
Yeah, but
goodbye,
my
Demond.
son has a good work ethic, and he kind of peed me off because when he got out, I wanted the jacket, the camouflage jacket with his name. You know how you guys, I
Right,
don't know if you
right.
weren't in the army, but anyway, so he gets home with all these big old green bags, and I said, "Where's your jacket?" He said, "I threw them and the boots away."
Yeah.
He was done.
Brooklyn, I was in the army 22 years. I served in Vietnam also.
Thank you for your service. My brother, who just passed away March 1st of this year, he also served in Vietnam. I don't
Yeah,
know if it was a close knit of people, but now that he's passed away, I can tell you his name, Moses Simmons.
I'll be darned.
Yeah,
Doesn't ring a bell, but there was a lot of, there were so many people back then that I was around. And of course, I served 22 years. I retired from the Army in 1991. Uh, but I tell you what, I'm glad I stayed in because I was drafted. But I'm glad
mm,
I re-enlisted and stayed in because I tell you what, I couldn't live on my Social Security alone. So I'm glad I got that Army retirement.
right. My brother served 21 years in the Army, part of which was in Vietnam, and he
Yeah,
did 20 something years, I can't remember how many, civil service after he left active duty.
sure. I couldn't do civil service. Once I got out, I didn't want nothing more to do with the federal government, so I
He
didn't.
worked
I
a
just,
long time for them. When he
yeah.
passed away this year, he was receiving, and this is not to be haughty or brag or boast, but approximately 8 grand a month.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it.
But I miss him
Anyway,
because that was the first sibling I had ever lost in my life. So it was it's still kind of hard.
yeah, I lost my brother in 2018, my older brother, and he was a Vietnam vet also, but he only served one term, but one enlistment. But yeah, I miss him. Yeah, he's been 6 years. Of course, I lost my mom in '85 and my dad in 1987. So I don't have any family left other than my immediate, my wife and my kids. So,
Right.
but my siblings and my parents and grandparents, everybody's gone.
I lost
So,
my mom on Martin Luther King holiday of 2015. It was a week before my last semester in college. And I'm writing a book, so I'm now I'm playing this back in my head. But my sister called me. I lived in a real nice area in my city, and she said, I'm supposed to take mom to the doctor, however, she's not answering. And so I was waiting on the cable man to come, but I called a neighbor in my apartment building and said, could you come and do this, do that, until I get back? And she said, yeah. So we get there. So to make a long story short, she passed away Martin Luther King holiday 2015. And she was a very strong person. She migrated from the South. She worked for YT people in their homes for a minute. And then the next thing you know, that turned into 32 years for a well known hospital here. She had her own parking space.
Wow. Great.
But yeah, I miss my mom. She was
Oh,
very
I
strong.
bet you do. I was 35 when my mom passed and 37 when my dad. So I lost him pretty young.
Yeah.
I was in the service, so obviously I wasn't around when they passed. I was stationed in Indianapolis at the time.
Yeah. My dad never had the one thing he can tuck under his belt always is that, because I think he had like a sixth grade education, um, but he worked for this construction company for 32 years and never missed a day of work.
Wow, that's excellent.
Never.
But back in those days, you could go work for a company and stay there for about as long as you're good at what you're doing. They keep you. You could do that, but not anymore.
Right.
It seems like if you get 5 or 10 years of a place, you're lucky.
That's very
Mm-hmm.
You know,
unusual.
Or five.
That's very
yeah.
unusual. Yeah.
My son has worked for this company where he's working at now. He's
Mm-hmm.
been there 30 years.
Mm,
He's 45 years old. He went there when he was 15, 16 years old,
mm,
working that company. Been there 30 years.
mm.
Where
Yeah,
he's
my
at.
Mm.
And
my
he's a shop
stepfather
foreman.
was at one company for 43 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's very rare when that happens nowadays.
Well,
Yeah, he came out of World War II, and I don't remember whether he had the degree before or after he came out, but he got an accounting degree, and then he went to work for a plumbing supply house, which is still the largest plumbing supply in New York City. And he was the VP of finance. That's actually where he met my mother.
wow.
He
Yeah.
hired her, and 6 months later they were married. Um, but yeah, he
That's a great story.
43. Say again?
That's a great story.
Well, I could maybe. I
No,
mean,
it is.
I thought he was a shithead, but
Well,
the only
kids are
good
gonna think.
thing is that after he passed, my mother didn't have to work anymore, so that was good. And when did he go? He went in like I think 95 or 96, somewhere around there. So,
Oh, 70 is a piece of cake for you.
what do you mean?
Is that your stepfather or your father that
No,
passed at
my father
90?
died when he was 55.
Oh, did he?
My stepfather was 73.
What did he
Oh,
pass
okay.
away from at 55?
I'm pretty sure it was a heart attack, but also he was a horrible human being.
My brother, so I said the first time, the first sibling of March of this year was the first sibling I had ever lost. And then November 4th this year, my brother, 55, passed away from the big CANCR. So twice in 1 year, never happened before in my life for
Yeah,
me.
it's rough.
Yeah. But I'm strong, so. But yeah. So when I went to Texas a few weeks ago, I asked his wife, and I don't know why I do this now. I asked his wife for something that he normally wears. and she gave me a Breeze NFL official jersey and another shirt from Mississippi State, which is where he graduated from.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So for one day, I wore the Breeze jersey. I haven't worn the Mississippi State yet, but and to show you how, for me, and then I'm gonna shut up. Yeshua works. The night that he passed, I said, let me look on my iPad and see if I can find some pictures because I remember we were all together, all me. As when I say we, my father was Papa, like was a Rolling Stone. He married my mom, right? He only had one child by my mom, which was me, but he had other children that I didn't learn about until I was 16.
Mm.
So the point I'm trying to make is that um, no matter what my dad was like, there were certain things that he did and he instilled in me. Like I used to have brand new clothes in the drawer. I thought I was his only daughter. I'm writing a book. I'm seriously writing a book. Because I thought I was his only daughter, and I'll never forget it. One of my cousins said, come go with me. I can't hold it any longer. And she took me to this house and she hollered upstairs for this young lady's name. And she came down the steps and my mouth gaped open because she looked more like my dad than I did. And I said, so who is this? I don't know why she put it on me like that, but who is this? And she said, this is your sister. Imagine that at 17 years old.
Yeah, the rumor was that my father had another family somewhere because he was married 4 times. But
Oh, yeah,
apparently
he's like my dad. Yeah.
apparently there might have been a fifth family. Never
A
confirmed, but
fifth?
that was the rumor.
A fifth?
Well, meaning since
Five.
a fifth wife, so a fifth family.
Wow. Right. I'm trying to learn not to judge people. The worst time I have with judging people, and then I'm going to shut up, is when I'm driving.
I'm fine judging people. Without judgment, we wouldn't have survived.
I like your outlook.
All that bullshit about don't judge people, that's people trying to control you, telling you that. That's
Well, no
religious
one's
that's
ever
religious
really,
people fucking passing on their horse shit because without judgment, literally human beings would not have survived.
no one's ever really told me that, but I like what you said because having going to Catholic school and reading the Bible from front to back, there are certain things that I adhere to. But like I said earlier, I had this year, I had to disassociate myself from religion because it was like that was what they taught us to keep us in bondage.
Yeah. I mean, religion is completely useless for me.
For me
Uh,
too now.
you know,
Yeah.
but whatever gets people through the night. But I make a distinction between the believer and the belief system. Believers can do whatever they want. Doesn't matter. It's everybody's imagination at the end of the day. But the belief systems are awful, and they've created mostly horrific, terrible outcomes
Mhm.
in the world.
Right.
Like people condemning each other, people engaging in violent conflicts just because their invisible friend in the sky tells them that that's what they're supposed to do.
Hmm.
You know, from the Crusades to the Inquisitions to the witch hunts to the hating the rainbow community as they do now. I find that all to be just destructive
Yeah.
and completely unnecessary shit.
Mhm. You're right.
But as far as because I think about like where human tendencies come from, and a lot of this is the combination of sociology and anthropology, all these kind of things, behavior modification, psychology, all these things. And I think about like, well, why are humans wired the way they are? Like, what was the usefulness for certain things? And then if you think about it, you're sitting there in a village, 150 people working together to hunt and gather, protect the children, all that other stuff. And now, off in the distance, you see a group of people coming over the ridge. If you were not able to judge their intent and their intent was evil, you would not survive. So you had to be able to judge. You had to be able to scan another human being and try to understand what was in that person's intentions. And without that skill, you wouldn't have made it. So when people come around and then they tell you, oh, it's wrong to judge, I'm like, how? How is it wrong to judge? If you want to tell me it's wrong to prejudge, I get that. But don't tell me it's wrong to judge. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So anyway, wow, we're already at an hour and 55 minutes. So let's wrap it up. Brooklyn's Bridge, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share?
No, thank you. I just wanted to thank you for inviting me up. It's always pleasant to conversate with you and Grandpa.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Have a great night. All
You
right,
too.
Danny, my older brother from another mother and the last man standing, which is just how I like it. What are your final thoughts for the evening?
Well, it's a good day. We had a good live this afternoon, and this evening's been really nice too. It's been a good ending of the week, even though we do have tomorrow night yet to
Yeah.
do another diner night.
But Fridays really are I think, the best night of TikTok. Like
Yep.
we have your thing and then we have my thing an hour later, and it all just flows nicely, and it's all a very pleasant conversation with good energy and all that other shit. And all of the dummies that come in and want to disturb that, we just get rid of them. It works
Oh
out well,
yeah.
I think.
Sweep out the ash and trash at the start that comes and goes. And yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a pleasure always, my friend, and I hope you get some rest tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk to each other soon.
Absolutely. All right. Have a good night.
I love you.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for hanging in there for another installment of Yoda Live. I'm here, theoretically, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. and then 10 p.m. Although I have a feeling that in the new year, my schedule is going to be changing. But, I'll still be doing lives. I just don't know how often. But for now, this is where we're at. Thank you to my panelists. They added to the conversation. I do have the ability to come up here and talk for an hour or two on my own, but it's not as much fun for me. So I'm really glad that people come up and share their thoughts, and we can converse as though we were sitting at a diner and sipping coffee and eating French fries and whatever the fuck else, and just, going around the table talking shit. It's exactly what I love to do. So thank you so much for your time. And until we meet again, peace, love, and granola. Have a good night.